Hi, prayer partners. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you've been able to stay in where it's air conditioned and not in the heat this week. It has been pretty toasty around the Midwest here. I think we've had situations to help folks with benevolent issues all week, and I think just about every day this week, and it has been quite toasty outside. So anyway, um, I've been reminded of a very precious portion of scripture to me, because we've also not only had a busy week, but there have been a lot of pretty heavy prayer requests come through this week. Thank you for your prayers for those things. And I've been reminded several times this week, one of my favorite portions of scripture is found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. And it says there in verse 1, "My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commandments." Now, pay attention to that. He didn't say don't let your head, don't make this a routine intellectual endeavor, but he said let your heart keep my commands. The attitude of our heart, the mindset of our ways. He said let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. I don't know that I'm worried about long life and adding to my days, but peace. We all need peace in this turbulent world. And he said there that when we approach his commands with our heart, and it's something that's important to us, then he says it'll add peace to your life. And then he says, let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck and write them on the tablet of your heart. And by doing these things, he says in verse 4, that you'll find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. And then comes some very, very familiar verses. Verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Don't be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health to your flesh, strength to your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruits of all your increase. So your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will overflow with new wine. My son, don't despise the chastening of the Lord, nor detest his correction. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as a father, the son in whom he delights. Verse 5 there. Trust in the Lord, not in self, not in bank accounts, not in abilities to do things, none of these earthly goods. He says, trust in the Lord. And then notice how he says to do it, with all your heart. Just like obeying his commands, we do it with our heart. It's not some intellectual thing we go to school to learn how. He says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Commit yourself to this. Put yourself into it 100% and don't withhold anything. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. You know, on one hand, that's kind of hard to do, but on the other hand, it's very easy to do. It's easy to trust in the Lord because he's never failed us and he never will. I've trusted in a lot of things in the past. I remember trusted a wristwatch one time, and that thing quit, and I was late to an appointment. And I didn't trust that wristwatch anymore after that. And they said, "Oh, you can put a new battery in that thing, and it'll be okay." I was always skeptical of that watch from that time forward. But it's different when we trust in the Lord because he's never failed us, and he never will. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. That's hard for some folks to do, including me. Lean not to your own understanding. Don't try to figure this out. Don't go on past experience. Don't think you've got all the answers. Lean not to your own understanding. Trust in him, not in your experience, not in your education, not in what makes you happy or sad. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't lean to your own understanding. And then in verse 6, he says, and in all your ways, not just a few, not just the things that pertain to church on Sunday or Sunday school or life group meetings or any of those things. He says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him. All your ways, family life, personal life, individual life, life at church, life in the community, life on the job, in all your ways, your financial ways, your academic ways, your employment ways, family ways, in all your ways, acknowledge him. In other words, I acknowledge him. I'm admitting and confessing, God, I can't do this without you. I can't be the husband that I need to be without you. I can't be the father that I need to be without you. I can't be the grandpa I need to be without you. I can't do anything I need to be without you, Lord. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It'll be health to your flesh and strength to your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions, with the first fruits of all your increase, so your barns will be filled with plenty, your vats will overflow with new wine. My son, don't despise the chastening of the Lord. When we go through times of correction, it's not because God is trying to beat us up or bludgeon us. It's because he wants to bless us. Don't despise the chastening of the Lord, nor detest his correction. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects. Because God's chastening, because God's correction, because God's intervening and trying to get my attention, that just proves he loves me. He loves me and that I belong to him. If I weren't his son, he wouldn't correct me. But because I belong to him, when I step out of line, when I'm going in the wrong path, when I'm doing things that are leading me away from him rather than to him, I can expect his attention, his correction, his discipline. And that just lets me know I belong to him. So as we go through these prayer requests that I send to you each week, trust in the Lord with all your heart. He's there. Don't lean to your own understanding just because it looks grim and the things are desperate. Trust him. But what about? No, that's leaning to your own understanding. Well, yeah, but I remember when. That's leaning to your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. I know we've got some pretty serious prayer requests going on, but our God is able. He has never changed. Remember a few weeks ago we talked about the 3 O's? He's omniscient. He knows everything. He's omnipotent. He's all-powerful. He can do anything. And he's omnipresent. He's everywhere. There's no place that he's not. And he is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. Well, prayer partners, I hope you have a great week. And again, I hope you're in a place that's air conditioned. God bless. Have a great week.